This is the Eastern Shore High School Football Preview Show.
Week 3 of the high school football season here on UTV 44 and a packed house at Eastern Shore Toyota as we get ready for tonight's matchup. Blount coming across the bay to take on the Daphne Trojans. I'm Jim Cox, my partner Dan Brennan. And Dan, we'll always love the atmosphere here. And, you know, Matty T, they never fail to represent when we come to the pregame show.
I've got to admit, we love the atmosphere, maybe sometimes, some weeks, a little more than others. This is one of those nights. Of course, Daphne right down the street, and Matty T. Blount bringing busload after busload to Eastern Shore Toyota. So we're excited because they're excited.
It's a fun week. It's a big week. You know, we got to see this Daphne team last week here on UTV 44. They went up to Saraland. Speaking of atmospheres, before we even talk about the game, you and I had said during the week and in the pregame that we were really excited to go see what all the talk was about the atmosphere in Saraland. That kind of lived up to the billing.
It did. And now you've got a number of places that are like that. Spanish Fort, Daphne, McGill, Tulin. Great home field advantages because the school and the community is just so into it. Tonight, I think we're going to see a great one, too. And I'm really looking forward because we were very impressed with Daphne last week.
Oh, absolutely.
Even in a losing effort, we saw great coaching, a lot of skill all across the field. So looking forward to another great game tonight for sure.
Yeah, I thought the game, it was kind of indicative of what we're going to see in 6A a lot. And as you said, you know, it's so top-heavy down here. But, I mean, I thought that game, I thought both teams played well. I thought credit Saraland for finding a way to win because late in the game, it didn't look like they were going to win that game. It looked like maybe we're going to go to overtime or maybe Daphne's going to go in and score. And all of a sudden, it just changed. And credit Saraland for finding a way to win that game.
Yeah, they always say, you know, find a way to win at the end. It could be, you know, you hear it all the time, coach speak. It could be one snap of the ball. It could be one play. And one play did turn things around. Suddenly, Daphne's not going in, and Saraland's got a chance. They made some plays down the stretch. Jack West, the young quarterback, had a, you know, less than stellar first half. All that pressure that Daphne put on him. But when it was time to win the game, he helped his team win the game.
Yeah, and speaking of quarterbacks, John Quinley, I thought he played great for, you know, we kind of saw him go through some of those growing up games early in the season last year as a junior for Daphne, and now he looks like a poised senior quarterback.
He was terrific. I look forward to seeing him tonight against an excellent Blount defense.
All right, let's talk about why the reason we're here as we record our pregame shows to get ready for the game. It's all about the money, Dan Brennan.
Yeah, $20,000 in all is going to be given away by Eastern Shore Toyota to these football programs. 12 grand to number one. That means you support your program the best at these shows. Blount is now right in the middle of the running, right? They've done that tonight for sure. 4,000 goes to second place, and they parcel at 2,000 apiece along the way too. So, good news for the schools that come out and really participate in the pregame show.
Yeah, and it's all about the participation, and we're certainly seeing it here again tonight. And Blount with a great showing, and really, you know, got a new coach at Blount this year. Excited to see them. You know, we've always been impressed. You know, really looking at Blount over the past several years, you've seen the way they've been trending, and it really looks like that arrow continues to point up.
You're going to love meeting the new coach.
I can't wait.
Lev Holly, great guy. Got a chance to spend a lot of time with him the other day on the Blount campus. I think his team's focused. I think his team's talented. And I think both teams come in. It's kind of almost an even slate. Can't wait to see when the purple and gold go up against the purple and white tonight. You're going to love this one.
Yeah, week 2 for both teams here. And, boy, what a tough one. Tough way to start the schedule it's been for the Daphne Trojans. We'll talk all about that. When we come back, we'll have Lev Holly, new coach of the Blount Leopards. He'll join us, and we'll talk all about Leopards football coming up here on UTV 44. the high school football season here on UTV 40 for the Blount Leopards and Daphne tonight as we get ready for this one. You know, we always get excited because it is the game of the week. We knew we had it last week. We think we have it again here this week. Lev Holley, the new head coach of the Blount Leopards, Juan Poe with us here as well to talk about tonight's matchup. And Coach, let's go back to you coming in to Blount. Obviously, the job opened up. Very prestigious job. Over 80 applicants for the job. I know your former days at Viger, very familiar with it, but I mean, what an honor and what a great position to find yourself in coaching the Blount Leopards.
I'm just blessed to be in the situation. You know, just feel like, you know, I was put here for a reason. You know, my time at Viger. And most people don't know my story. You know, I decommitted from New Mexico out of high school, and the first person that came knocking at my door was Ben Harris.
Really?
And he hand-delivered me to Alabama State. So it was a blessing. You know, so I'd never go on the interview and not, you know, thank him for, you know, for giving me that opportunity.
Right.
But, man, I tell you, man, it's been a ride. You know, Mr. Dr. Crenshaw, school board representative, Miss Pete, Mr. Woods as the principal,
sure.
Marion Dunn, athletic director, faculty, the staff, and most importantly, these kids. You know, so, man, it's a blessing.
Yeah, I know, Dan, you had a chance to meet with Coach earlier this week, and he called me right away. So you're gonna love him. You're gonna love this guy. But I mean, coming into Blount, I mean, it is a place where, you know, I think some coaches take jobs and you're like, well, you know, maybe we. I mean, the cupboards are there. I mean, it's full. It can be a great opportunity to win at Blount starting right now.
And that was one of the things, you know, I took the job at Escambia, just kind of, I needed to get it on my resume. So I know what you're saying when you say you got to take a job just to get that experience. So I did that. You know, and I stepped back, went back to being an assistant at Jackson, Coach Powell again. Great ride. I got a chance to go to the semis. And, you know, the job came open and I was contacted about it. Just prayed on it and went through the process. And, you know, Mr. Woods chose me to be his guy. So, again, I'm honored. And, you know, I walked in, it's like, wow. You know, so, you know, it's a bunch of guys, but they bought in from day one. The thing we wanted to instill was discipline and get the community back involved. The Alumni Association, they do a great job of support. And, you know, just understand the process and get the whole program, you know, to create an A to Z mentality, A being attitude, discipline, Z being success. So, man, I can't say enough about the opportunity.
Well, when I did meet with him, he's one of the guys who meets him, and not only was I so impressed with, wow, this guy's so grounded for a young man, but when I was driving away, I was thinking to myself, in comparison, I'm completely ungrounded. You know, it made me feel bad. But you can see the attention that he has when he was talking to the kids in the gym. I didn't have to try and figure out who the head coach was. You know what I mean? We hadn't been introduced yet. But one of the things I did ask you, Coach, was, what do you have? What kind of team do you have? Starting with this guy, talk about your team.
Yeah, he's a great kid. Zawan came over to us from Davidson, and from the time he got in, made an immediate impact. And you know, he's one of them guys that, you know, he's a junior, and I think, you know, he's gonna have opportunity to play at the next level, at a high level. But you know, you look at, you know, the guys that was there. You know, you walk in with a quarterback that's back. You walk in with a receiver that's back. You walk in with a defense that's a veteran group. Special teams in place. Walk in with a kicker. I mean, what more can you ask for? But the biggest thing that I've seen is the buy-in. It's unreal. I mean,
But you know what? I think from our standpoint around this line, you can see why.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see why the kids are buying in to you. I mean, I'd be in. Yeah.
Maybe you can ask him why.
Yeah. I mean, what was your first impressions when you met Coach Howell?
The first time I met him, I was like, he's so humble. Like, when I'm talking to him, he basically treats us like we're his sons. Everybody on the team, not if you're starting, it's just everybody. He really treats us like his own son. And he's like more of a father figure for everybody to look up to.
Have we introduced this young man?
Yeah, Juan Poe. We talked about that. How about so outside linebacker, maybe some strong safety. We'll see at some different spots in the field tonight. But so when you get ready to play this Daphne Trojan team, what are you seeing getting ready for the matchup?
getting ready, we watched a lot of film, just keying up what they have and putting it in our situation just makes it everybody's in the right spot at the right time. Just watching a lot of film, it's really more about the little things. That's what coaches imparted in us. So we're just trying to take it step by step.
And I don't mean this in a negative way, but with Daphne, it's like you know what you're going to get. I mean, they've been so successful, so strong, so long. You know what's coming up Friday night.
Well, I think that's a testament to Coach Vickery. You know, I talked to him this morning. I told him, I said, you know, Coach, I have a lot of respect for you and how you've done things over the past. I said, that was a young coach coming in at Mobile. I think he was at Davidson. I mean, it's unreal, you know, the way he mentor young coaches. And, hey, I've reached out to him and said, hey, I want you to be a mentor to him, because I think as young coaches, a lot of time we forget the foundation, you know, so the guys, you know, that I've come under, the Kerry Stevenson, the Jeff Kellys, the Danny Powells, you know, I look at the Terry Curtises, the Ben Harrises, the guys that have paid away for a guy like myself, you know, and I think it's huge, but that's a testament to Coach Vickery and the job that he's done over there. They have a great team. And this is going to be a great night for football.
I mean, you can see down the road, this is going to be a guy mentoring young coaches. We'll have you back in the last segment. Juwan, great to have you. Good luck out there. And we'll talk more. We'll get the Daphne side of things coming up tonight. It's Daphne and Blunt right here on UTV 44. Sounds like Daphne Trojans, doesn't it? I mean, really.
We've heard that a time or two.
Yeah, we have. Back here at Eastern Shore Toyota as we get ready for our third week of the high school football season, and week 2 for both Blunt and Daphne. And the Daphne Trojans, we saw them last week in the game against Saraland. Coach Glenn Vickery with us. Cameron Williams, nose guard, here with us as well. Coach, you know, we were just talking in the break. I mean, Dan and I, you know, so impressed with their team. And Dan, I thought he said it best. He said 6A, the region out here, it's so dang top-heavy. That's what you get a lot of Friday nights is a game like we saw here on UTV 44.
I thought both teams really competed well, and you know, we came up short. Give credit to Saraland.
Yeah, but something about that team, you know, the famous Globetrotter team. What year was that?
2010, yeah.
So anyway, this is an old conversation that Coach and I would have on a Saturday morning. But he said, well, I said, I don't know, can't put my finger on what your offense reminds me of. And he said, well, give me a team. I said, the Globetrotters? So anyway, it wasn't quite the Globetrotters all over again, but you do have some skill, you've got some speed, and you've got a senior quarterback that looks like he's feeling a lot more comfortable. Because if you can feel comfortable enough against Saraland, you're probably growing as a player, right?
Yeah, we got to get better overall, and John certainly's gotten better as a quarterback. Overall, our offense has to improve. You know, our goal was to move the chains. We didn't do it as much as we wanted. We got to get better at all areas. I mean, I'm very proud of our effort, but execution on some things wasn't there. You guys saw that. I mean, you know, things that we needed to execute early or late, it wasn't from effort. It was from just the small things that we got to get corrected.
Yeah, and we talked about at the end of the game, you know, Brandon Purdue going out. I mean, that's a huge loss. I mean, he was having a wonderful game. We saw him last year, and obviously he's going to be a big part of your team this entire season.
Yeah, it was tough, but on the other hand, you know, we got to snap it, we got to hold it, we got to kick a field goal to win the game, and that's not a Purdue thing, that's us.
Sure.
So, yeah, Brandon, we're very proud of the improvement he's made through the summer and from last year, and so he did have a great game.
Now, how about getting ready for this Blunt Leopard team? Obviously, we've seen Blunt over the years. You've seen him for a lot of years, and we were just talking with Coach Holly about you kind of know what you're going to get with Daphne, and that's just, you know, at a very high level. New coach comes in. Anything change as you prepare for Blunt with the new coaching staff?
You know, Coach Holly is a wonderful coach, and you know, and I'm an old Mobile guy, so I've been around Blunt football for years and years, and
longer than you wanted to.
Yeah, and yes, many nights, much longer than I wanted to be. And you know, you put a good coach and good players. I mean, we know they're going to be hard. They're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough team to beat. We stunk it up all week at practice, and yet we play one of the I think one of the best teams, if not the best team, in 6A football coming back. I think they're that good when I see them on film, and so we have a work cut out for it. And Coach is a wonderful man and a great coach, and it's going to be tough for us.
Cameron's going to have a big game here tonight. Tell us a little about this young man.
Yeah, Cameron, his nickname is Chick. He works at Chick-fil-A.
I could use a coupon.
He got off to a great start. He started at nose guard for us, had a great game, has worked hard. It's been a good camp for him, and we're proud of him. From not starting last year to coming out and achieving some of his goals. Had a great game against Saraland.
Talk about this Blount team as you get ready this week. Talk about what's been going on in your mindset as you get ready to take on the Leopards.
That I do need to execute what I need to do and make sure all my teammates are on the same page and just make sure that our defense executes.
And every Friday night, 6A region down here, it's going to be a battle, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir.
working up a hunger for some of that Chick-fil-A after the game.
Well, I was going to say, key question. He knows where I'm going with this. How many large orders of waffle fries can you eat in one setting? If really put your mind to it.
Oh, well, I'm not sure. I haven't tested that yet.
Tom, but what do you see? What do you see that they do really well, the Blount Leopards, as you get ready for them this week?
They are a very well-conditioned team to what I've seen on film, and they do have players that they can make plays.
Coach, high school kids, you've made the statement in the past before that the kids can rebound from a tough loss sometimes a lot easier than the coaches can, and the adults and the parents and those things. But you don't have a choice. You got to put last week behind you and jump right back at it this Friday night.
We have Blount, Harvestdale. We have 4 or 5 region games in a row, and certainly you can't dwell on the last week. You got to build from it and get better at it. But it's been a tough week for us. We felt like we had our chances, but again, when you look at Blount, that brings you back down to earth. Hey guys, forget that one. We got a big one in front of us. And so, but I was give credit to Blount. They had a great game against Williamson. So they're firing on all cylinders.
If you were just to reflect back on all the years of coaching in this Gulf Coast area, all the memories, all the people you've met, because we're beginning to do that. We've only been at 15 on the TV side. But it's been a great run for us. I'm sure it's been incredible for you.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of Blount, I think of going to Pritchard Stadium, and I think of the guys that played there. When I was at Davidson and other places, it's incredible. And one day we'll write a book about it.
We should.
I'd read it.
The Lord blessed me, gave me another chance a few years ago to be back doing this, and I want to help others and help these kids, and send a blessing to me. Good Lord got me back, and for me, every day above ground's good.
Well, you're one of our favorites.
Yeah.
We'll talk more.
The same way.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it in the last segment. Cameron, good luck. See you out there after the game tonight. When we come back, we'll have both coaches. We'll get you ready. We're about 10 minutes from kickoff here tonight in Daphne. It's the Trojans and the Blount Leopards on UTV 44. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Glenn Vickery, head coach of the Daphne Trojans, Lev Howley, the head coach of the Blount Leopards, as we get ready for our matchup here tonight on UTV4, the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers game of the week, as we get ready for this one here. And one thing I wanted to talk about, because you both mentioned it, Lev was talking about how he cherishes the mentorship that comes from other coaches and wants to learn. And you were just talking about how that is something that you really want to provide. And I think sometimes it may get lost because you see on Friday nights the heated competition but the coaches, you're all in the same fraternity, you're all going through the same things, and it's really a close-knit group of fellas down here, isn't it, Coach?
It is, and especially the guys like Coach that do it the right way. I mean, you sort of bond with those kind of guys that say, hey, how do you do this? Or, hey, let's do it the right way. And you know how it is. You feel more comfortable around the people that are trying to do it the right way.
And as a young coach, I know reaching out to people like Coach Vickery, but you see, it's almost like you're still impressionable at this age of your coaching career, and you're able to absorb things from like a Coach Vickery or a Coach Curtis, those other guys that you mentioned.
Well, I think you have to really look at, like I said, it's about foundation. And when you look at the foundation of high school football, you got guys that have paved the way for guys like myself that have been in a long time, that have taken coaches under the umbrella, embraced the moment, and shared that information, that knowledge, and that wisdom you know, to help us throughout everything that we deal with every day on a daily basis. But I tell people every day, I coach kids hard, but I love them harder. And I think that's why Coach Vickery and them has been in it for so long, because they love kids and they have a relationship past the field. And I think that's the most important aspect of it all.
Yeah, and we see that early on when we meet coaches or have been around a coach like Coach Vic. Hey, one thing I want to touch on quickly here. You're working on your doctorate in educational leadership, which was Dan's old major, which, kidding, was it? But how much of that and going through that is able to transcend into leadership for young men on the football field?
Well, it's everything, because from a leadership role, having a military background, you know, and like I tell people, man, I got a few more years in it because I want to be able to go home and be a dad and not have to worry about the field side. But if God leads me here, then I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can do every day. And that leadership degree, I think, will help me, you know, as far as being an effective leader day in and day out for the process, the procedure that we deal with in the education spectrum. You know, so I think it's important that, you know, I translate that, and I use a lot of that all the time.
That's awesome. So great to hear. All right, so we do these silly questions at the end of the show, and we always do
He's
it.
speaking.
Yes.
Lev speaking.
What was the best thing about your hometown?
Our hometown is Mobile, and I grew up on Duff Island Parkway, and just being a part of a close-knit